So today I'm doing a really requested video, which was how do you take photos on your own. So I feel as I've reached a new level of narcissism because I like take so many timer photos. It's crazy, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do for the feed. So I wanted to share my process with you guys. 80% of my photos are like probably taken by me because I live in New York and a lot of my friends are busy and I'm too poor to hire a photographer, so I literally just kind of go around and like make do with whatever resources I have, and you know, a lot of that requires me taking my own photos. So I want to like cover as much bases as I can in this video, so I'm just gonna get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is equipment. You do not need anything fancy if you're taking photos on your own. I feel as if I hear so many people looking at these online content creators who also take photos of themselves and they use like these fancy cameras and tripods and lighting. If you want, you can, but I personally literally just use my iPhone. Like, this is literally the device I use to take 90% of my own photos because it's just compact, it's easy, it's not as noticeable, so you don't look as, you know, narcissistic. I do use my DSLR sometimes if I am shooting indoors. So in my apartment, like in my bathroom, I have terrible lighting, or in like my actual room. It's like really convenient because that way I can get more definition, and when I'm editing it, like I'm not losing too many of the details. So it's really convenient then. Plus my DSLR has this option where I can literally connect it to this app on my phone, and then I can see like the photo that I'm actually taking on my phone, so that way I can like pose myself and like see what I look like. However, you literally don't need it, like the phone was gonna suffice. Another piece of equipment that I personally use, you don't have to, is a tripod. So this one's actually a newer tripod than my other older one, which is like a lot heavier. This one's a lot more compact. It is super lightweight and it just like has a lot of options to adjust it. So if I'm trying to do a photo that requires like a significant angle or maneuvering, I love to use my tripod. Especially this tripod comes with like this little thing for your iPhone too, so I can connect either my DSLR or my iPhone to it, which is so convenient. It's just really good for like getting those angles. So now that we have the equipment covered, let's talk about background and planning. When I'm taking photos of myself, like a lot of them are just taken within my room because I live in New York and I'm too shy and socially awkward to just go out and like take photos of myself in public because it's crowded literally everywhere you go in the city. My most used location is probably my rooftop because it's secluded, and then my own room. So I don't really plan like too much about the background. I just like plain white backgrounds and like very neutral because I'm like showing off my outfit and like all of that, so I don't need any other distractors, and I just think it's like easier, I'm more comfortable that way. However, sometimes like if I am out and about, like let's say running errands, and I look cute and I see like a little spot that I think will look really good in my feed, I just use my phone and I just like prop it against like some random building or whatever and just like kind of pose for a little bit. Tip is that if you're taking photos on your iPhone, instead of using the self timer option, which is literally going to drive you insane, so instead what I do is I go on the video mode and then I pick a really fast video, what is it called, 4K by 60 or something. I pick my video to be really fast and smooth, and then I just film myself like either using the selfie one depending on like the lighting that day, because if the lighting's really good, the selfie camera will do just as well, or the back camera, and I just kind of like randomly go in front of the camera and just like pose around. I'll like insert some clips maybe if I have them of me doing so, and yeah, just take it from there because it's just easy, and then I can just like go back through the film and like pick a clip that I really like, screenshot it and like edit it, and like hopefully it turns out good. So another tip, if you're trying to take photos of yourself, it's very convenient and like useful if you have props to play around with, because it can get really awkward just trying to like pose yourself in front of a camera, especially if there are people looking around. Like it just looks kind of weird. So I like to use like fake flowers or like a hat, or maybe like just play with your hair. If you have a bag or a coffee cup, like those work so well, and I think they add more dimension to your photos. So that's pretty much it in terms of like the equipment and like the planning that goes into the photography. Now I'm gonna actually show you how I actually take my photos. So I just set up my tripod and my iPhone on it right here just so I can take photos in this outfit in that background. Like I want to get my dresser as a background, so just set it up, and now I'm going to use my iPhone to take it. I can either use it in this mode, which is like the selfie mode, so like you can see the camera, or I can like flip it around and like take it as like from this lens, if that makes sense. I'm gonna try both versions and see what works well. I usually like to use the selfie mode just to kind of adjust myself and get a feel for like the background and what I'm looking for, and then I like to just kind of look at the video and then I like convert it back and like use the actual lens to film so I get a better quality. So I'm gonna set my camera here. Hopefully you guys can see. I got some shots on the selfie camera. I kind of got an idea of what my camera is seeing and how I should pose myself. So now I'm actually going to switch it over to the other lens and also try shooting from there just to preserve quality. I'm just going to look at the background and make sure it is what I'm looking for. This can be a little tricky because you don't really know what your camera is seeing. So I just recommend like try to be as centered with the actual lens as possible. Just keep looking at it and make sure like, you know, you're within range, because if you're not, then like you're kind of not really capturing a photo of yourself. You can always use a selfie camera though if you want and feel more comfortable with that. So now that I've taken like the actual photos, I'm just gonna go in and like take the clips that I really like and screenshot them, and then like go and edit those photos and all of that. So yeah, as you guys can see, they turned out pretty well. I'm like pretty happy with the results, and you know, they're very Instagram post worthy. So some tips that I have if you guys are looking to take your own photos is that always shoot from like far enough that there's space on top of you and at the bottom. The reason I say this is because you're gonna probably want to crop some stuff out, and it's always better to have more than less because you want the photos to look good. And then also second is that if you're trying to do a different lens type, like I know some editing apps allow you to do like a wide angle lens which makes you look taller, elongates you. You know, it's always valuable to have that space there. Also, if you have like more space, it just looks better in your feed. So you've probably noticed that your Instagram feed, like even though it allows you to post photos that are like not exactly a square, this key like photo that's going to show up in your feed, your grid, is going to be like a square. So you want to adjust it so that it looks well with your feed. Another tip I have is that if you're taking your own photos, it's also very, very good for you to take it from a lower angle than a taller angle, if that makes sense, because if you're taking it from up high, it's going to make you look shorter and it's going to make your head look bigger and your body like weirdly proportioned. Whereas if you take it from like a lower angle, it's going to give you a very artistic effect. It's going to make you look longer. It's going to look like a professionally done photo than it really is. So those are my 2 tips whenever I'm like trying to take photos of myself. I really hope you guys like this video. Let me know if this was helpful, and if you guys want more of these kind of videos. I'm trying to cover everything and like what I do. I know it's not a very specific process, but the main thing that you're gonna need is like confidence, and that takes time. I know that when I first started taking timer photos, it felt really awkward. I felt really awkward. I didn't know how to pose. I just thought it was super weird because I never even took selfies to begin with. So I was like, this is super narcissistic of me. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do for the gram. And sometimes if you look popping and there's nobody to take a photo, you're only left with your own self. So yeah, I really hope these tips helped you guys, and you know, keep practicing, keep playing with different angles and see what works for you and like what poses you like and how you feel more confident and whatnot. So I really hope you guys like this video. Give it a big thumbs up and let me know if you guys want to see more of these videos. If you want to see a photo editing video or a maintaining a feed video or whatever, I love making these kind of videos. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.